the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
What's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And not with me today is my buddy, my coach, my pal, the man, the plan, the one and only John Meleka. And not with me today is video producer extraordinaire Greg. So it is just me solo dolo today. John and Greg recorded before me because I had to do a Knicks fan TV live post game today. So I'm coming at you, Jets Nation, with a recording afterwards. We don't even know each other's thoughts. That is how fresh all of this is. I don't know what John had to say. I don't know what Greg had to say. This is just me. I'm definitely going to obviously hear it later. I can't wait to hear if we have the same viewpoints, different viewpoints, and then we all get to talk about it later this week. So it will be fun. It will be great. This is going to be a good science experiment. We'll see how all this plays out. But what happened today, do we really need to get into it? Yes. Yes, we do, because I know how all you're feeling. You're all feeling like how I did when I was watching this game. Pissed, upset, aggravated, annoyed, because we lost to a Patriots team that, quite frankly, isn't much better than us. We beat ourselves today. It was a lot of mistakes on the Jets' part that led to a 22-17, which, even though the score doesn't really represent how bad of a loss this was still it just sucked. Everything about this sucked today, and I really, 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 really can't stand how the Jets just played below their standard of what we saw the last couple of weeks. They went on a 4-game winning streak, right? They went on a 4-game winning streak, and it's all busted. All right, Zach Wilson beat Pittsburgh. Zach Wilson and the team, I should say. Zach Wilson and the team, because Zach Wilson helped to lose us this game today. Zach Wilson and the team helped us beat Pittsburgh. We beat the Broncos. We beat the Packers. All right. We're road warriors. You know, we were doing a very good job. And we also defeated the Dolphins too. Can't forget them as well. We defeated all 4 of those teams. 1 home, 3 away. We're road warriors. Home to face the Patriots. And we decide to stink it up. So let's get into this. Let's break this all down and try to make sense of it. I know the hot topic. It's Zach Wilson. I get it. I'm frustrated with him too. I'm going to save that for the end, because I feel like that's going to be a longer discussion, and I want to save that for the end than rather just talk about it up front. So, but before we all get into that, if you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, all those good things. Wherever you get all your podcasts, whether it's YouTube, Apple, Spotify, whatnot, make sure to give us that rating, hit the like button, do all that good stuff, because why? It helps us create more content. And it's just a free way to support us. Come on, support us. Don't you like what you're hearing? I mean, obviously, you're tuning in. So let's get into this. Like I said, Jets beat themselves up. But let's talk about this defense first, because my goodness, they just allowed. We couldn't stop Stevenson. We couldn't stop Harris. We couldn't stop anybody in the running game. And even in the passing game, it went back to Stevenson. Like, good Lord, man. Good Lord. The running back situation, John always talks about how the running backs can get out into the open field and score on us, and our front seven couldn't stop them in the run game. You know, Stevenson had 16 carries for 71 yards. Longest was a 35-yard run. You also had Harris, who had 11 carries for 37 yards. You know, and then you had Stevenson out of the receiving game. Running backs out of the backfield always give us a problem. 7 receptions for 72 yards off of 8 targets. He didn't score a touchdown on either one of them, but he just helped Mac Jones and the rest of the Patriots set themselves up to get the scores that they needed, whether that was field goals or the touchdowns. Man, or I should say touchdown, because it was just a field goal affair. But the defense just started out fine. It started off fine, like the running game started to get going, but opening the second half where the Patriots just attacked us every single time. It just felt like we couldn't do a damn thing to stop them. Nothing. They would just get the ball. They would just get it out to the running back, and they just get so many more yards on us, right? Or they would just find the passes, because once you start having to guard the running back, it just opens up the game for the receivers, and that's where you get Jacoby Myers for his 9 receptions for 60 yards and his TD today. It's just stuff like this, man. And like the defense could have played a lot better. They could have just made sure to cover their assignments. Like they did okay job for the most part, especially in the first half. Second half, like just allowing the Patriots to get the ball and march down the field with such ease is just it's just so aggravating, because that's really was a turning point. Once they got that touchdown, it was smooth sailing for the Patriots to win this game. Defense needs to be better, especially when it comes to covering tight ends, when it comes to guarding guys out of the backfield. Now, Hunter Henry and Jonas Smith didn't really go crazy on us. It was really the running backs and Jacoby Myers. That was it. It was Stevenson and Jacoby Myers. Those are the only two guys to have more than 4 receptions and go get numerous yards on us. That was the only thing. The Patriots didn't do anything crazy. It was that our defense decided in critical moments to allow them to march down the field and have a good time of possession. Okay? Like you look at this game, Patriots had a nice time of possession. Patriots had 35 minutes and 34 seconds to the Jets 24 and 26. So the Patriots were only able to run the ball and make sure they ate up a lot of clock, keeping it out of the Jets' hands, kept their defense out there, and made them tired. So the Patriots, it's not that they had freaking Mac Jones out there killing us. All right. He threw 24 for 35 for 194 yards. He didn't do anything impressive. Defense just allowed the running game. And it just, not even the running game, just allowed Stevenson to attack us at all levels. Just gross. For the most part, though, I can't really be upset with the defense because they did it, I'd say 75%. 75%. They helped us stay in this game. They limited the Patriots to mainly field goals. It was only 1 touchdown that they gave up. 1. So the defense did their thing. For the most part, 75%. They don't allow that touchdown. Maybe could have been a different game. Put some pressure on the Patriots to really try to score. But for the most part, I'm not upset with the defense except for that. Because coverage-wise, you had Sauce Gardner doing his thing. DJ Reed was doing his thing. I mean, Michael Carter II should have had a pick 6. He should have had a pick 6 on a bullshit John Franklin Meyer roughing the passer. All right? These refs really irritate me with some of these calls today as well. That roughing the passer was so ridiculous because later on in the game, you have Zach Wilson getting the same type of treatment after a throw's been made, where a defender is throwing his body on him, but no one's making that call. No one's making that call. You have wide receivers pulling on Sauce Gardner, which is the technical definition of offensive pass interference, literally grabbing his jersey, but they're not going to call that. Refs are okay to call everything for the Patriots. I need to know how much Bill Belichick pays these guys because it seems like the Jets need to ante up and start getting these calls, especially on home turf. But overall, like I said, not too angry at the defense. I thought they did their job for the most part, especially in pass coverage. They did a really good job. Our secondary has just been on point. The front 7 needs to be better when it comes to defending against the running back out of the backfield. That just needs to improve. Offense. You see what happens when we don't have Corey Davis as a weapon out there. You start to see what happens when you don't have Breece Hall. It's just tough. This is an offensive-driven league. Breece Hall, the broadcasters were talking about, he gives that home run ability to really put pressure on defenses and other offenses to try to keep up with us. He was very much so missed today because we now leaned on Zach Wilson. But as much as we leaned on Zach Wilson, we got nothing in the running game. Patriots defense was just stopping us. You got Michael Carter out there for 7 carries for 26 yards. You got James Robinson, 5 carries for 17 yards. Ty Johnson, 2 carries for 6 yards. You couldn't do anything on this defense running wise. So that's why we went to the aerial attack. Garrett Wilson showed up today, 6 receptions for 115 yards. Tyler Conklin had 6 receptions for 79 yards, 2 TDs. I thought he was outstanding today. real securing the ball, because we know earlier on in the season he was fumbling a lot, but he did a good job after the catch and getting some yak, man. Same thing with Garrett Wilson. These guys we got some weapons on the offensive side. It just comes with steady quarterback play. Don't worry, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get into that. CJ Uzama got his one reception. Michael Carter out of the backfield was okay. Denzel Mims had a long one today, got a 63-yarder. You know, didn't really. Denzel Mims got three targets, 2 receptions for 76 yards. Okay. This is where you miss Corey Davis because he's a big body. He's a well-rounded wide receiver. He puts pressure on defenses, and that's Zach Wilson's security blanket. I think he's wearing that Tyler Conklin is another security blanket, as well as Garrett Wilson. But Corey Davis, you need more weapons. Really shocked that Elijah Moore only got 1 target today. No catches, 0-0-0 across the board. Very weird. This is where you have to highlight it because he was really not scripted in these plays at all. He was even off the field for some plays, and that's really mind-boggling considering, they brought him back. I get that they're still on eggshells after requesting a trade and whatnot and going public with that, and having Ian Rappaport report that. But you can't have hard feelings. You're trying to win a football game, and if you're trying to make amends, Michael LaFleur, man, you got to call up some schemes to get this guy involved. I mean, we're doing end arounds for Garrett Wilson. We'll do an end around for Braxton Berrios. Where's Elijah Moore? And for Michael LaFleur, where are the quick passes to help settle into Zach Wilson instead of with these dropbacks, trying to just go attack downfield? I get that we're trying to get chunk plays, but where are the short plays to really help us? We had some of them out there. I'm not saying that Michael LaFleur was missing all of them, but I felt like we could have done a lot more in order to really get Zach Wilson into rhythm, considering that our offensive line was just getting somewhat manhandled today by the Patriots front seven. Offensive line, if I had to give them a grade, it'd be like 6 out of 10 for how they did today. Patriots have a solid front, but you got to be able to run on these guys. We couldn't establish the run game. You allowed Zach Wilson, even though Zach Wilson got sacked, I believe, once today. He got sacked twice. Yeah, that's right. He got sacked twice. He was sacked twice today, too. I remember the other one now. Yeah, he got sacked twice. But for the most part, they did a good job protecting him. I thought to a certain degree. I thought they did a good job. Obviously, the defense was able to cause pressure, get him out of rhythm. I thought there were plays that Zach didn't really need to scramble out and try to extend the play. But for the most part, offensive line did an okay job. 6 out of 10 is what I'd give him, because I thought there were some plays, especially not being able to establish the run game. Some pass protection was meh, but more so I'm going to put this on the one and only Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson comes out here and it's nice. 355, 2 touchdowns. The 3 interceptions suck, man. The 3 interceptions ruin your stat line. That's why you get a 24.1 QBR. Like, what's with the decision making, man? It just sucks. Honestly, it just sucks. Like, I have no idea what this dude was thinking. He is gambling too much, even on plays where he didn't even need to gamble. I just don't get it. It's like he tried to force one into the touchdown. There's 3 Patriots hats right around it, and we only had 1 wide receiver. Try to keep it in balance, try to force a touchdown. Why are you doing that? Shouldn't. You're putting the ball into dangerous territory. Don't know why. Why are you underthrowing after you're running out? After you know it's a dead play, why are you underthrowing for the Patriots to intercept you? It just doesn't make sense. Sure, that guy was out of bounds, but they're not going to overturn it because it's close. But why even put the ball in that position? It's just dumb, man. And then you try to force another one to Tyler Conklin. Like, I legitimately do not get that. I don't. And like, there's 4 dudes on that play. I don't get the decision making. And I understand everyone's frustration with Zach Wilson like that. He stinks. He's not this guy. He hasn't really thrown touchdowns like that during games. We've been relying on Breece Hall. And to be honest, I hear what you're saying. I don't. I'm not fully ready to say that Zach Wilson sucks, as some of you are saying that he's trash. I think that's very harsh, personally, because he does have talent. When he has a clean pocket, when he scrambles out, he can find guys. You can't say, "Oh, look at Garrett Wilson's long reception. How did he get it there?" Can't say the same thing for Tyler Conklin and all the touchdowns before the interceptions. How did he get it there? How these receivers and pass catchers get it there? Someone had to connect with them. I think the decision making needs to clean up. I think Zach Wilson forcing himself off his back foot as he's falling backwards and not planted and throwing through needs to stop. That's just young, stupid quarterback play that we cannot have. It's one game. I understand the frustration, but I'm not there to say that he sucks. Uh I'm just not there because I think there's still some good things that you could take away and that you got to clean up. I get that as Jets fans that we haven't had a quarterback to rely on that is a franchise guy that will be consistent. Um, we can't. I'm still in the belief that you got to work. Some quarterbacks can come in and be a Justin Herbert, and you can just throw around all over the. They can throw it everywhere and do all those things. That's very few and far between. Very few and far between. Um, Zach is one of those guys I think you're going to need to be a little more patient with and have to allow the offense to establish a good run game for him to feel more comfortable and understand and learn from his poor decision making. I think that's the type of quarterback that he is. Not everyone's built the same. Not everyone's built the same. So I would like, you know, next week's another week. I know it's against the Bills. It's a tough matchup. They are a very good team. They are a very good team. I do not have high expectations. I didn't expect the Jets to go anywhere against this team and compete with them toe to toe against the I don't for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, for Patriots, I expected everything, and that's why I'm more pissed because Zach Wilson, and he threw this game away for dumb stuff. He started to press when he didn't need to press. Patriots scored a touchdown, then he thinks he needs to make something happen, and he didn't. He legitimately didn't need to try to make anything happen. He could have just tried to play a smart, sound game, which is what the freaking Patriots did, which is why I'm so annoyed. Patriots don't even do anything good. They just play a smart, sound game. After the touchdown, we had the missed field goal. That stunk by Greg Zuerlein. Patriots get a field goal. We had to punt. Patriots get another field goal. Throw an interception. Patriots punt. We throw another interception. And then we turn over on downs because we try to force it to Tyler Conklin instead of getting 5 yards. This is just like the dumb stuff I just don't get. Between Michael Floor and Zach Wilson, where is his solid play calling and decision making? Just where? Like Michael Carr is good out of the backfield. If you're going to throw a pass attack, can we get Michael Carr into space? Can we stop trying to run him up the middle? Like we saw that work for Breece Hall where you got to get these guys out into space and we continuously try to run up the middle. It just made no sense. None. I don't know what you were expecting to do against the Patriots team who has a good front seven. It's just aggravating. It's just stupid play calling. It's stupid decision making. I'm not fully out. You're going to have some of these bad games. I was not expecting the Jets to win every single game, but Zach Wilson needs to be playing better. Michael Ford needs to call a better game. It's just that simple. The Greg Zuerlein field goal stinks because if he made it, we're talking about a 22-20 game potentially. Who knows? Who knows? It's just really aggravating. The Patriots suck too. They're not even that good of a team. they're just not even that good of a team. They just make the fewest mistakes. Legitimately just make the fewest amount of mistakes, which is what kills us. It's what kills the Jets. Like we had 4 stupid penalties. Like the Patriots had more than us, but we had 4 stupid penalties that we didn't need to do. We actually could have won the dumb mistake, but it came down to penalties and interceptions at the end of the day. Turnovers and penalties are not going to help. Yeah, we made fewer penalties. We had fewer penalties than the Patriots, but turnovers aren't going to help that either. It just stinks. Everything about this sucks. The Patriots, I fucking hate the Patriots. I just can't stand them, especially when they're not even a good team. Like they're just not. Mac Jones threw 24 times for 100 complete. I should say, let me rephrase that. Mac Jones completed 24 out of 35 for 194 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Like what? Like how can we not beat that? How can we not beat that? How? They only have one touchdown. One. Just very aggravating. Special teams comes down to Greg Zuerlein. Just missed field goal. I thought special teams was solid for the most part. They gave up a big return, put the Patriots in easy positions to get field goals, but our defense held. So I can't even be fully mad. It comes down to Zach Wilson, Michael Ford play calling, man. That's really what it comes down to. I'm not fully out yet on Zach Wilson, but he's got to do better than this. You got to have a good turnaround game, and it ain't gonna be against the Buffalo Bills. That team's ready to play. They're hungry. They have championship aspiration goals. They're not gonna lose. If we could shock them, that'd be impressive as hell. But it's gonna be a tough gauntlet. I would not be surprised if we go 0-3 during the stretch. Not to be surprised. Well, that's all I got. Thank you all for listening to my rant for my solo dolo pod of this. Can't wait to listen to what John and Greg said. I'm really interested. But thank you all for tuning for another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. Catch you later this week with another Knicks episode. By the way, on that note, if you haven't make sure to check me out over at Knicks Fan TV, where I'll be doing post games, Knicks Weekly, game of the week matchups, where you can find some of my writing pieces, and also check out my most latest thing over at SNY. I was interviewed by Dexter Henry. So thank you to him and thank you to SNY and the New York Post for putting that together. That was great. Make sure to go check me out over there as well. And catch you later this week for another Knicks, another Jets episode, everyone. We out.